Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to this video series on data centers. The layered approach. A reference model is the conceptual blueprint of how communications should take place. It addresses all the processes required for effective communication and divides these processes into logical groupings called layers. When a communication system is designed in this manner, it's known as a layered architecture. Think of it like this. You and some friends want to start a company. One of the first things you'll do is sit down and think through what tasks must be done, who will do them, the order in which they will be done, and how they relate to each other. Ultimately, you might group these tasks into departments. Let's say you decide you have an order taking department, an inventory department, and a shipping department. Each of your departments has its own unique tasks, keeping its staff members busy and requiring them to focus on only their duties. In this scenario, I'm using departments as a metaphor for the layers in a communication system. For things to run smoothly, the staff in each department will have to trust and rely heavily upon the others to do their jobs and completely handle their unique responsibilities. In your planning sessions, you would probably take notes recording the entire process to facilitate later discussions about standards of operation that will serve as your business blueprint or reference model. Once your business is launched, your department heads, each armed with the part of the blueprint relating to their own department, you will need to develop practical methods to implement their assigned tasks. These practical methods or protocols will need to be compiled into a standard operating procedures manual and followed closely. Each of the various procedures in your manual will have been included for different reasons and have varying degrees of importance and implementation. If you form a partnership or acquire another company, it'll be imperative that its business protocols, its business blueprint match yours, or at least be compatible with it. Similarly, software developers can use a reference model to understand computer communication processes and see what types of functions need to be accomplished on any one layer. If they are developing a protocol for a certain layer, all they need to concern themselves with is that specific layer's functions. Note those of any other layer. Another layer and protocol will handle the other functions. The technical term for the idea is binding. The communication processes that are related to each other are bound and grouped together at a particular layer. Advances of the reference model. The OSI reference model is hierarchical, and the same benefits and advantages can apply to any layered model. The primary purpose of all such models, especially the OSI model, is to allow different vendors' networks to interoperate. Advantages of using the OSI layer model include, but are not limited to, the following. It divides the network communication processes into smaller and simpler components, thus aiding component development, design and troubleshooting. It allows multiple vendor development through standardization of network components. It encourages industry standardization by defining what functions occur at each layer of the model. It allows various types of network hardware and software to communicate. It prevents changes in one layer from affecting other layers, so it does not hamper development. The OSI reference model. One of the greatest functions of the OSI specifications is to assist in data transfer between disparate hosts, meaning, for example, that they enable us to transfer data between a Unix host and a PC or a Mac. The OSI isn't a physical model, though rather it's a set of guidelines that application developers can use to create and implement applications that run on a network. It also provides a framework for creating and implementing networking standards, devices and internetworking schemes. The OSI has 7 different layers divided into 2 groups. The top 3 layers define how the applications within the end stations will communicate with each other and with users. The bottom 4 layers define how the data is transmitted end to end. Figure 2.5 shows the 3 upper layers functions, and figure 2.6 shows the 4 lower layer functions. When you study figure 2.5, understand that the user interfaces with the computer at the application layer, and also the upper layers are responsible for applications communicating between hosts. Remember that none of the upper layers know nothing about the networking or network layers. That's the responsibility of the 4 bottom layers. So you can see here you've the application, presentation, session layer, transport, network, data link, and physical layer. In figure 2.6 you can see that it's the 4 bottom layers that define how data is transferred through a physical wire or through switches and routers. These bottom layers also determine how to rebuild a data stream from a transmitting host to a destination host's applications. The following network devices operate at all 7 layers of the OSI model. Network management stations, MSS, web and application servers, gateway, not default gateways, network hosts. Basically, the OSI is pretty much the Emily Post of the network protocol world, just as Mr. Post wrote the book to Setting the Standards or Protocols for a Human Social Interaction. The ISO developed the OSI Reference Model as the precedent and guide for an open network protocol set defining the etiquette of communication models. It remains today the most popular means of comparison for protocol suites. As I mentioned earlier, the OSI reference model has the following 7 layers: application layer, 7 presentation layer, 6 session layer, 5 transport layer, layer 4 network layer, layer 3 data link layer, layer 2 physical layer, layer 1. Physical 2.7 shows a summary of the functions defined in figure 2.5 and figure 2.6 at the layer of the OSI model. With this in hand, you're ready to explore each layer's function in detail. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. In the next video I'll be discussing the different layers of the OSI model. So I'm going to leave it here today for this video. If you like listening, please consider like, sharing and subscribing. Thank you.